What's up, everybody? So I guess today we are changing the slave cylinder. So the slave cylinder can go out with many things, whether it's wear and tear or weather. In this case, mine went out due to ice. It got crazy cold, and there was ice over, and then it got hot again, and then cold, and because of that, mine kind of exploded. Basically, the slave cylinder is connected to the clutch, and this piece right here, engages and disengages when you use the clutch. I'm not exactly 100% sure exactly how it works, but I do know that mine is done. You'll be able to notice these things if the clutch feels weird. It feels more like a brake pedal right now. It definitely won't go into gear, your car, and you'll be able to look and there will be fluids everywhere. If you realize you have no brake fluid at all, then it's probably because it's got a bad leak or it's busted and you should replace it immediately. So I'm going to have to jack the car up, and we're going to take out the old one, clean it out because there's fluid that exploded all over the place, and then install this piece, and I'll show you how. You'll go ahead and take off the front passenger side wheel. Then proceed to jack the car up. Go ahead and put one jack stand under there. Then continue to take off the wheel. Once you take the wheel off, you'll be able to see the slave cylinder from there. Right there's the piece. And you can see how it's like, looks like it's busted and there's fluid all around it. It's a bad leak. We're going to proceed by undoing this nut and this nut. There are two 12mm bolts, I believe. And then we'll have to unscrew that piece right here. There's one. And for the bottom one, you may have to get a swivel socket or just use a plain old wrench. Seems like it'd be easier to get a wrench, so I just went ahead and got a wrench and reached under and broke it loose. And go ahead and get a wrench and put it on this piece right here and break it loose. I went ahead and broke everything loose before I completely unplugged any of it. That way I wouldn't have to take this piece off after I undid these bolts. It just made it a lot easier. So after that, it should just come out. Oof. You can see that it's cracked and busted really bad. And there's actually supposed to be a little extension piece here, like it sticks out a little, like I'll show you in the new one. But it's bad. And if it starts leaking fluid out of the top hose that you did, don't freak out, it's totally supposed to do that. That's just whatever brakes fluid is in the system. So then go ahead and get a brake cleaner and spray the whole thing off. You do not have to do this, but I would highly suggest it because at this point there's fluid everywhere. And if it's not as bad, I guess it's okay to just leave it alone, but I would still just clean it while you can. So here's the new piece right here. And this piece is completely gone on my old one. You're going to go ahead and take this out and unscrew the nipple when we install it. So it's a lot easier to install the new piece from directly under the car. I went ahead and I crawled in and I screwed in the top where the brake line is and screwed in this bolt some of the way. And you can get this in by just compressing it. So it'll compress. It takes a little work. I'm going to go ahead and get the top bolt in and then compress this piece right here, and you see where this, and put it through this hole. So all you got to do is compress this down and put it through this hole. But first I'm going to put this bolt in and the top bolt in. Okay, so do not do what I just said. Instead, you're going to compress it first and put that in the hole, and then put the bolts on after. Because if you try to compress it after the bolts are on, it won't compress enough to get in the hole. So compress it first, put it in, and then put the bolts on. Go ahead, tighten it down. All the last bolts. And you're just going to want to hand tighten it because it's screwed into aluminum. So just tighten it tight, but not too tight. Then you're going to go ahead and take off this nipple. You're going to use an 8mm. I already took it off. And then here's the part where you'll have somebody pedal the clutch while you watch it drain out all the bubbles. But first, fill the brake fluid. So as you can see down here, if we check, there is little to no brake fluid. You're going to go ahead and fill it with .3. Once you have it installed and you've taken off the nipple, then you are going to proceed to pump the clutch up and down for a few minutes, all the way down, all the way up. And you're going to need a second person to be watching the nipple as it drains, and he will be able to see all the air bubbles coming out. And after he stops hearing bubbles and it just starts to be fluid, that's when you will realize that you got all the air out and you don't have to pump the clutch anymore. When you're done with this process, you'll notice a huge difference in the clutch. I know I do. It's like it pushes back at me. It's pressured. I'm super cold, which is why I'm wearing all these layers. I've been working outside. It's like 30 degrees. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep up with my car repair videos. Don't forget to click that subscribe, and if you like the video, then click the like button. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.
Love, that's just the drugs. Don't they make you feel numb? You can't feel it all. Maybe if we loved our